Welcome back into Coach Prime's Playbook. Time now to get to know our first player of the season, Shane Coes. Your 6th year in college, 2nd at CU. So let me ask you, how are you approaching your last dance?
Enjoying it for all it is.
Let's address this sweat first, because I don't want y'all to just think he just came up here sweaty and funky. Now, he just came out of the weight room and he ran right up. That's why he's still perspiring, even though I don't know who was in charge of that to turn that on right now, because I'm about to sweat too.
Yes, I feel quite warm.
Okay, now my bad.
I appreciate you, Coach.
Yeah.
But enjoying it for all it is, like taking it all in. Obviously the season, the guys, coaching staff, just really enjoying this thing and doing what we set out to do last year and completing it this year.
Shane, I remember last year, you were one of the first guys we talked to outside the indoor practice facility in that little lobby. You'd kind of just gotten here from Dartmouth, and it just stood out. You're just a natural-born leader, and you talked about approaching that role while being, in a new place. Now you're in year 2. You're set here. My question for both of you, I'm going to start with Coach. What are your expectations for Shane now in year 2, on and off the field?
Well, I want him to, and that's what he's done, consistency. I mean, I'm talking about going with the type of motor that he has, but to be consistent with it and to understand the offenses and the complexity of the line and the schemes and where the block is coming from. And he's taken all that as a challenge, and he has been balling, man. I'm proud of him.
Well, how about for you? What are your goals?
Same thing, being consistent and playing, and then leadership also. I think a few times last year, I wasn't doing the job I need to do, so I need to be better at that. Of course, with the D-line, but the defense as a whole and team also, just really accepting and taking on that responsibility in every form that I see it in. We
are excited about what this defensive line can do this year. But tell us, what's it like working with Coach Warren Sapp?
It's crazy. It's crazy. Like I said all the time, it's weird to have a Hall of Famer as your coach, because it just seems so regular nowadays, just being with him every day. But you forget how special that is sometimes, and I just try and remind myself every day that he's out there and soak everything in that he's teaching me, from whether it's pass rush moves, run game, no matter what, just soak it in and just be around him and just really accept and try and enact every teaching that he gives me.
Who's the toughest, Sapp or D-Lou? But you got 2 pros out there. Yeah. That's a good one. That's a good one.
That's a good one.
Because D-Lou don't play.
He don't play.
Don't play.
I'll probably say D-Lou. I think his energy, they both bring energy every day, but it's different. I think Sapp, at least nowadays, his energy more playful. He can get in that serious mode, but D-Lou always on it, whenever he hit the field. Not to say that he just serious all the time or anything like that, but just you check in every time you step between those white lines with him.
Tell them the difference of the talent level from a year ago to now.
I say it's vast. I think the biggest thing is just want to energy. I think it's a just different mindset in the room, I would say, from ends to D tackles. Everybody's focused on this season, the goals, and D-line as a whole. Like I say, the difference between this year and last year, we're a family. That's right. We really play together. We want each other to get better and excel in everything that we do. And that's just how we work. We work together, we lose together, we do everything together. So, just keeping that same mindset and focus and bringing that energy every day is what separates us.
We got Game 1 on Thursday. You got a really tough FCS school. How are you approaching North Dakota State?
Like as anybody in the country.
Yeah.
Like we playing Alabama, like we playing Ohio State. I mean, go 1-0 this Thursday, 1-0 next week, but it starts Thursday. Indiana's a good team, disciplined team, coached well, history, winning FCS championships, so they're coming to play, and we got to match that and excel against that and beat them at their game.
That's right.
What do you think might surprise fans this year about this Buffs team?
Great question.
That's a good question. I think the focus. I think, we have all the glitz and glamour, all the show and everything like that, but I think the biggest thing this year that's been different that I've seen is just us inside these 4 walls. I don't think it's letting any of the outside noise get in, because I think at times last year we kind of let that affect us. And I think this year it's no matter you with us, you against us, it's really with this team, with the coaching staff, with the support staff. One what says it matters. There's nobody else. It's just us, and we got to reach that goal on our own.
I love it. Hey, that wraps up this segment. Perfect timing. He's got perfect timing, too. We will be right back after this.
Shadura drops, pressure, steps up in the pocket, rifles this one down. Jimmy's out there, makes the grab at the 35, jukes him out at the 30, down the sideline, on his way to the end zone, off the horn. Jimmy has found the end zone. Touchdown, touchdown, Colorado, 70 yards.
Welcome back into Coach Prime's Playbook. Time now to get to know with Jimmy Horn Jr. So excited. Jimmy was our first player guest last year on the show. We're so happy to have you back. And man, I got to start with that game. 198 yards on 7 receptions. When you have a huge game like that, like, do you have a feeling before you go into it that it's going to be that big?
I kind of had a feeling that I was going to do good. You know, it was a lot going on, so I just really had to stay focused. And really, like, that whole week, Coach Brown was telling me, like, you're going to have a big game this week. You're going to have a big game. And, like, really that whole week, the way, like, everything just went, I feel like I got what I deserve out there on the field, you know, and everything went in God's favor, you know. I had a great week that week of practice. I had a great fall count, you know. I just had a great, everything went good for me overall leading up to that game. So, like, I kind of just had a good feeling that I was going to play pretty good that game because I just had a great preparation, too.
Man, it was so fun watching you.
Yeah.
But after the game, Prime was like looking at the stat sheet. He's like, 198. Why didn't anybody tell me? I could have got him 2 more yards. Did you give him a little something like, hey, why don't you give me 200?
I ain't really like no greedy type of receiver, you know. So if I get it, I get it. If I don't, I don't. You know, it's all gonna come in some type of way. It's like a full circle. That's how it works. So I really wasn't too worried about the extra 2 yards. You know, it's liable to happen in this game. You never know.
You know, it's interesting you say that because this was wide receiver room. You're all so talented, but it seems like a really unselfish group. How do you guys all complement each other?
Facts, because, like, we got a whole bunch of wide receiver ones on one team.
Yeah.
And, you know, like, we all come from programs where we was, like, the wide receiver ones there. But, like, we all understand, like, we all here, we trying to win. Like, that's our main goal, so it ain't no selfishness going on. So everybody want to see everybody win, and, like, that's the best thing about it.
I love it. So before the game, we caught you T.O. You and T.O. having a moment, and I was maybe like 10 yards away from you guys. I could like feel the heat and the intensity of this moment. What did he say to you in that moment? What did that do for you when T.O. is giving you a serious pump up?
You know, T.O. every time he see me, he chopping it up with me, letting me know, like, you got it, like, just keep doing what you do, like, be you out there, you know, you got the talent, you got this, you just be a leader, man. You ain't got to be a verbal leader, just do what you do. Because I ain't really too much of no verbal leader. I just like to just play and just do what I like to do. You know, he's like, just go out there and have fun with it. Don't overthink. You know what I'm saying? Just next play mentality, just keep going. And you go have a good game. That's really how that conversation went, you know. And that's just how the game went.
That's awesome. Jimmy, you quickly become a fan favorite, like right off the bat last year, I think on and off the field, because you've been open with a lot of the stuff that you're going through off the field as well with your pops. And, you know, I know some of that must weigh heavy on your heart. How do you channel all that and put that on the field to become this incredible player that you are?
Really, just like you said, put it on the field. Yeah. Like, it was like one practice when I came back from my dad's court and stuff like that. Coach Brown was like, let me know if you need a day off. I'm like, no, I need a day off. This how I cope with. Like, football is my way to cope with a lot of things, you know, that I'm going through. So, like, I just use this as my way out. So, like, I can't take no days off with this. Like, I love playing this game, you know. That just really, like, how I cope with it, for real.
That's absolutely beautiful, and thank you for being so honest and open with us about it. Jimmy, so fun to watch you. We can't wait to see you in Nebraska. You ready for that environment?
Yeah, I'm ready.
It's going to be fun. Jimmy, thank you so much. We got to let you go. He's got to get to class.
Yeah.
Now runs to his right, whips it down the side, and it is picked off by Colorado's Cameron Silmon-Craig.
Forget all the social media and all that, man. Football. At the end of the day, I love football more than I love the Instagram. I love football more than I love this money. I love football more than I love these girls, bro. I love football first. And that's how we got to get to. We got to love the football first.
Welcome back into Coach Prime's playbook. And, man, what a treat this week we got Cameron Silmon-Craig, a leader on and off the field. But you heard that really impassioned speech. Where does that come from, all that passion?
Just how I was raised, playing football. I mean, it was always a want factor. I mean, we played football for free, and that's when we had our most fun playing. So that's why I just try to keep that mentality of just going out there and have fun and don't worry about everything else.
You know how long we've been together?
How long?
Tell him how long we've been together.
6
6 years.
Yeah?
6 years.
Yeah, he was a junior in high school.
What do you like about Coach Prime? Why do you want to stick with him all those years?
Just the passion he brings out of you. I mean, he always holds you accountable. He never let you get too high, never let you get too low. Make sure that you keep pushing yourself every day. And that's the biggest thing I love about him, that he never let us get complacent.
Other way around. What you love about Cam?
Cam is a dog, man. Like, he's a leader and a dog. Usually you have either or, but he's both. I know one of the questions after the game was like, who said something in the locker room. I said, I'm not looking for people who say something in the locker room after the game. I'm looking for people who say something during the game. Those are the leaders and the dogs, the ones that take control during the game. And you can see what he did out there. That's who he is. I mean, you don't have to give him no rah-rah speech to have him go. When he start putting that uniform on, when he snapped at him, and it's go time. It's on. And you know what you're going to get. The more guys on the offense and defense that you know what you're going to get, you're going to be successful.
Yeah, and it shows on the field. I mean, 11 tackles in the Nebraska game. Was it 3 or 4? 3. 3 for loss. And you kind of said after the game, you feel like the unit, kind of keeps getting better as the game goes on. Where do you feel like your strengths are right now?
My strength, we just working to get better everywhere. I mean, honestly, up front got to get better. DBs got to get better. Linebackers got to get better. Just being with this man, I never can just harp on with something that we just do great. I mean, I just feel like we just got to get better everywhere.
Let's talk about this upcoming matchup. You had a great game against CSU last year. At the time, it was a season-high 9 tackles, but you already got 11 in the last game. You had a pick. How much are you looking forward now to playing them, but this time on their turf?
It's awesome. The game last year was an awesome experience. We got a real fight with those guys, and it's going to be a great rivalry game. We come to dominate this time. We don't want to leave it close. We want to just go in there, handle our business, and come back.
What makes a rivalry game special for you?
Yeah.
Yeah?
It's the hate. It's the hate.
We don't hate anybody personally, but we've learned to adopt the rivalries here. So we are adopting what was told to us.
Yeah.
Couldn't say it better myself.
Well said. Well, one of the great things about this program is you got these amazing mentors coming in and out. You got a chance to pick the brain of one of the greatest to do it at your position in Ed Reed. What was that conversation like? What'd you talk to him about?
Honestly, last game, that's what I went back to what he was telling me. He told me, well, when everything going on around you, you just got to keep a calm head. I mean, you got to keep a calm head for the front line, for the linebacker. So this weekend, I just tried to go out there and make sure I stayed in the game and kept everybody calm. And we just came out there and just kept doing what we had to do. So I thought about it a lot.
Roman, that's valuable because when you're off and you're on the sideline, you got to still be in the game, even though you're out of the game. But you got to still analyze and visualize what just transpired, what they're trying to do, because you're about to get back up in several plays to go back out there and correct whatever they're going to try to target. And a lot of guys get lost on the sideline, looking around and just in la-la land, and you go out there and they're coming at you, and you're not prepared mentally or emotionally.
Well, this has been amazing because Cam, man, I feel the energy. You got me wanting to run through a brick wall for you. It's so fun. Can't wait to see what you do on Saturday. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Ooh, Marshall. Oh, goodness. How many times have we seen Nikhai Hill-Green lower the boom?
Oh, my goodness. I love Nikhai Hill-Green.
Welcome back into Coach Prime's Playbook. So excited this week to be sitting down with Nikhai Hill-Green. Just an absolute heat-seeking missile out there. Looked back in high school, you were up for an award named after the late, great Dick Butkus, and I'm pretty sure we saw why on Saturday. Can you describe your style of play? Because, man, it's fun.
Just doing my job every play, getting my guys lined up with the green dot and the mic, and really just having fun flying around. I try to model my game after Ray Lewis.
What has he done to earn that spot next to Levante?
Consistency and not limping. I just said, "Quit, stop limping." He was gimping, and I'm like, "Hey, you got to get him in the training room and get him together. Take him off the field. It's got to be one or the other because we want him to be the best that he can be." But the steady habits, to just being consistent, and consistency starts at practice. The only thing I don't like about that play had nothing to do with him. 10 of his teammates should have been around him getting him love because that was a tremendous hit, tremendous play on a down that we needed to make a play, and they should have gave him a lot more love for that type of a hit.
When you talk about physical play, and then I think you're like the poster child for it on this team, it's so fun to watch. How do you see your teammates feed off of that and want to embrace that physicality as well?
Yeah, I just look at it like it's war. You know what I mean? Like there's a man on the other side who thinks he can beat me, and I got to show my guys that, I can beat him and just win my one-on-one every play. And I feel like that just rallies the guys, and it shows another guy that, okay, he just made a play. I'm going to try to make the next play, and then we just compete, and we really build off each other.
You said you model your play after Ray Lewis. He came here. What did you take from him when you actually got a chance to talk to him and be with him here one-on-one?
Just his practice habits, the passion about touching the ball, running to the ball, and really just the lifestyle. I took that a lot from what he said, the lifestyle. He's like, make it a lifestyle, like eat, sleep, breathe, football. And since he said that, I've been off social media a little bit. You know, I post here and there, but I'm not really on it as much. Just focusing in on the little things, and that's what I took from what he said.
These guys do a phenomenal job of preparation. We put the film times up on Thursday, so everybody gets to see who watches films and who study. And he's not one of the guys that just log it on and just let it run. Then in 30 minutes, they get back on it. He truly emphasizes the little things, because oftentimes we love the linebackers call out the play. You guys, if you study, call it out before it even happens. That's the a-la Ray Lewis, and that's the thing that he's doing along with some of the other linebackers. They're doing a phenomenal job inside with recognizing formations and calling out the plays before it happens.
When we look at this defensive unit, like I was saying, that you just keep getting better each game. Is this just the tip of the iceberg of what we're going to see from you guys this season?
Absolutely. The best is yet to come. We got to keep preparing. We want to go 1-0 each week and just keep being better, you know what I mean? We want to make history, and we want to be legendary. That's what we said from the beginning. That's why we all came here, and we're just working every day to do that.
I absolutely love that. Now, of course, before you were here, you were with another legendary coach in Coach Harbaugh. So how are Coach Harbaugh and Coach Prime similar and different?
That's a good question. They're really similar, but they have their own styles, and they have their own way to go about it. And I think that's because Coach Harbaugh played quarterback, Coach Prime played DB. So Coach Prime, he's more swag, but little things, because at DB, there's not a lot of room for error. Quarterback is more do your job, do your job, do your job, and it's really militant. But DB, you got to have some finesse, and you got to play with swagger. If you're not a DB with swagger, it's going to be hard to play on the island.
That's interesting. You think Coach Prime would ever rock the khakis? The Harbaugh khakis?
No, that's not going to happen. I promise you that. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, that would be a interesting day. That was great, Nikhai. Thank you so much for joining us. We can't wait to see you this Saturday in Boulder, and all season. Keep bringing that physicality. It's fun.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, now welcome back into Coach Prime's playbook at Folsom Field. It's fun to watch some of those fantastic finishes. And such a treat today. We got Carter Stoutmire in the house joining us. And Carter, so happy to have you, because you kind of got thrust into this role as Shiloh goes down. How did you embrace that role of next man up, staying ready for this opportunity?
Just wait for my moment to come, just learning from my mistakes from last year, you know, just being ready. Whenever my number was called, I know I was going to be ready to go.
When you talk about learning from your mistakes from last year, what did you take and what did you feel like you've improved on the most?
Just don't let the moment be too big for you. Just know that you made for the moment, and you know, you belong here. I belong here, so just showing that I belong here and I can play at a high level at this level.
You know, Carter and I go way back.
Yeah.
You know, his dad and I played together.
Yes.
And I was at the wedding with his parents.
Okay.
I remember when he was born. So it's way back. I mean, he grew up right around the corner. His parents built a home right around the corner from me. His dad is like my little brother.
Yeah.
So I've been watching his journey on, and then we had an opportunity to sign him. It was just a blessing. But this man is so versatile. He's a big kid. He's a fast kid, physical, plays corner, plays safety, plays slot. He's very versatile, and I love it.
So you've known him for all of this time.
All of his life.
All of his
Yes.
life. What is it about Carter that you said, I want this young man
Consistent.
to play for me?
He's like his father. His father was a workaholic. There's no shortcuts with him.
No.
You know what you're going to get on a daily basis, and it's going to be consistent, and he plays with a passion and a certainty in his physical. And he's still learning the safety's position, because he's been a corner his whole life.
Carter, what did you learn from your dad about being a pro, about being ready, about playing at hopefully even the next level?
There's just no shortcuts to being great, you know. You got to do everything the right way. Whatever it takes is what it takes, you know. Just being ready for the moment. You always got to do extra. If you're not doing extra, you're not doing enough. He taught me that when I was young, so that's probably the biggest thing I've learned from him coming up.
You know, it's funny because I see him talk, and he sounds so much like his father, and he looks just like, his mom and his dad together. But it's just hilarious because me and his dad, he's one of my best friends, but we joke and clown all the time. But just seeing him mature and be this guy that he is, and I was there before he was even born, that's what's funny about that.
Yeah.
You know?
Is that like a full circle moment? You played with his dad, now you're coaching?
Yes,
Carter?
coaching his son.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I wish his dad was on our staff, by the way. His dad is extremely intelligent as a football player, but he comes up all the time to support Carter, and he's still darn near all the games. So it's just a blessing seeing him mature, and he's definitely a pro. He's going to be a pro one day.
We talked a lot about dad, but your mom was a superstar track athlete as well. Who's the better athlete, mom or dad?
That's a good one.
Put you on the spot.
That's a good one there. Mom could fly now. Yeah.
Probably mom.
Mom could run.
Just natural athlete. I'd probably say my mom.
Okay.
Yeah.
Natural athlete, my mom. My dad had to work for everything he had. So
Yeah,
my mom,
he
she was
did.
born with it, I think. Yeah, I think she was born with it.
That's awesome. And we see your mom is great. She's very active on social. She's always posting. What's it like that to have the support from your parents?
Oh,
They're
it's
always
great.
here.
It's great. You know, just know they're always going to be at every game.
Yeah.
Just whenever you come out the locker room, they're always going to be there. Win, lose, or draw, they're always going to love me no matter what. And that's a really good feeling to come out the game, just know they're going to be there.
And his dad is not the kind of guy that, well, my son ain't playing. He's not like that. He's like, stay on his butt. Stay on it. You know, make sure you put your foot on his throat to make sure he earned everything.
Oh, I love it. That's amazing. Carter, thank you so much
Yes,
for
ma'am.
joining us. We can't wait to see everything you do in Florida and the rest of the season. We really appreciate it.
Yes, man. Thank you for having me.